Hi, I'm here with Mike McLachlan, who represents the 24th District. Is that right, Mike?
That's it.
And what towns does that encompass?
Danbury, Bethel, New Fairfield, and Sherman.
And Mike has recently been elected as a state senator to the 24th District and recently has joined our circle. So what I want to do, Mike, is if you can explain first, what was your background before you ran for state senator?
Well, I'm a banker by trade. I spent many years in financial services, and then the last 7 years I served as chief of staff to Mayor Boughton of Danbury. So I had a good experience to local government and how it operates and the administration of local government. This is the first elected position that I've held, and it's a very exciting opportunity for me. I've enjoyed the first few weeks a lot. Opening day was an exciting experience, and I think that it's so far pretty much everything that I'd hoped it would be. I think it's always interesting to figure out how you get around to all these meetings in one day. Today's a good example where there's 7 stops for me, and I'll probably go back to the same meeting 6 or 7 times during the day, trying to get to all of the meetings. I often wondered why there were so many empty chairs in a committee meeting, and now I understand very clearly that when you have to serve on 5 committees here in the legislature, you really have to move around a lot.
When you worked with Mayor Boughton, is that what made you think about getting into politics, or what was the real reason why you decided to take the jump, if you would, into state politics?
Well, you know, I started campaigning when I was 10 years old. That was my first political
Not for this
campaign.
current seat, right? No. Okay.
Yeah, that would have been 40 years trying to get the job, right? About 10 years old, worked on my first political campaign and served as Republican town chair in Danbury. After that, served on State Central, Republican State Central Committee. And so, you know, I'd been around politics for a long time, but the job as chief of staff to the mayor was the first paid position in politics that I'd ever had. Being a banker for about 17, 18 years, that was a great experience. And so it just seemed to be a natural thing for me to move on. I've been helping other people get elected for so many years. It was time for me to throw my hat in the ring.
And what committees are you currently serving, so we could kind of give an idea of how many committees you have, and then let's talk a little bit about the committee process. So what committees are you currently serving on?
Well, I was appointed by our leadership team as ranking member of the Government Administration and Elections Committee, who has a public hearing today. I serve on Judiciary, Transportation, Finance, and Legislative Management.
So in the course of a day, let's take today. I mean, we're a part-time legislature, which is, you know, the joke of the building because we spend a lot of time. So for an example, let people know your first year up here, today being a day which you have a number of committee meetings, public hearings going on. What time do you get up here, and when do you expect that you'll be able to leave the building today?
Well, I got here today about 9, but the day really started at 6 because I was doing some preparations for my meetings today, reading all the agendas and so forth. I have started the day with government administrations and election. I rolled into Judiciary for attendance in the beginning of a public hearing, then on to Finance. Later on, I'm going to try to testify before the Environment Committee, which I don't sit on. And then there's 3 other meetings slipped in there in between, and the opportunity to sit here with you. So it's a busy day.
If you had to sum it up, basically in terms of your hectic schedule that you just talked about, is that something you expected to find when you got up here, or was that kind of a surprise that, you talked about the fact there was empty chairs, that kind of a surprise that Senator would be so busy running from this meeting to that meeting to this meeting? What was your expectations, and what did you find?
Well, I don't think it was a surprise, because when people who have been here for many years heard that I had 5 committee memberships, they said, "Oh, I'm sorry to hear that." You know,
condolences.
Yeah, their condolences. But I knew. I mean, I've been to the Capitol many times before, and my predecessor, David Cappiello, is a dear friend of mine, so I've spent some time with David, and he basically told me what to expect. Mayor Boughton served in the State House for a while, and so he gave me an idea of what to expect. So, no, there's no surprises, but, you know, you get here, and it's even more busy. The flurry is even busier than what you hear. So,
Well, listen, you're doing a great job. We welcome you to the circle, and you bring a lot of knowledge to help out in terms of local government and your banking background, which we're definitely going to need in this budget crisis. And we thank you for taking the plunge with us up here at the Capitol, and you're doing a great job.
Thank you.
And thanks so much for being on the show.
Thanks for having me.